Good morning. Today we're diving into a story that impacts every American, one that might not make daily headlines, but shapes the financial world we all live in. We're talking about the role of Dr. Lisa Cook at the Federal Reserve, the powerful institution at the heart of the U.S. economy. Dr. Cook is a governor on the Federal Reserve Board, the nation's central bank, which manages our money supply, sets key interest rates, and works to keep the economy stable and growing. The Fed's decisions affect everything from the interest you pay on your credit card, to the mortgage rates that determine if you can buy a home, to the loans that help businesses expand and hire. Dr. Cook is the first black woman to serve on the board in its century-long history, a groundbreaking achievement that brings new perspectives to the table. Before joining the Fed, she was a respected economist and professor with degrees from Spelman, Oxford, and Harvard. Her academic journey is a testament to her dedication and expertise. Her research focuses on how innovation and economic growth can benefit all communities, not just a select few, helping to close gaps and create opportunities. As a Fed governor, she helped set the nation's key interest rate, influencing borrowing costs, job creation, and the pace of economic growth for everyone. These decisions are made independently from politics, based on careful analysis of economic data and trends, to ensure the best outcomes for the country. Governors are appointed for 14-year terms to shield them from political pressure, allowing them to focus on what's best for the economy in the long run. This stability allows them to make tough, sometimes unpopular choices for the country's long-term good, even when those choices are hard. Dr. Cook's position is more than a job. It's a safeguard for our economic health and a symbol of progress in representation and expertise. Her voice and vote help shape the financial landscape for millions of Americans, influencing everything from jobs to savings. That's why the recent attempt to remove her is such a major story, raising questions about the future of the Fed's independence. The independence of the Fed is crucial to our economy, ensuring decisions are made for the public good, not political gain. When that independence is threatened, it affects us all, our jobs, our savings, and our future prosperity. Dr. Cook's journey to the Fed is inspiring, but her fight to stay there could shape the future of American economic policy for generations to come. Let's see how this unprecedented challenge unfolded, and why it matters for every American watching today. On August 25, 2025, President Trump shocked the nation by announcing he was firing Dr. Cook from the Federal Reserve Board. The news rippled through Washington and financial markets almost instantly, leaving many stunned at the unprecedented move. No president had ever tried to remove a Fed governor before. This was historic. The Federal Reserve, long seen as an independent institution, suddenly found itself at the center of a political storm. The White House claimed the move was about restoring accountability, citing serious allegations against Dr. Cook. Officials insisted that the decision was necessary to maintain public trust in the nation's financial system. But many saw it as a direct challenge to the Fed's independence, a tradition that's protected the central bank from political interference for over a century. Critics warned that undermining this independence could have far-reaching consequences. The president has long criticized the Fed for not cutting interest rates as aggressively as he wanted, blaming the central bank for slowing economic growth. By removing Dr. Cook, he could potentially install someone more aligned with his views, shifting the balance of power on the board. This could give the White House more influence over monetary policy decisions. This raised alarms about the future of the Fed's independence. Economists and investors worried about the precedent it might set for future administrations. The move wasn't just about one person, it was about whether the White House could control the central bank and what that would mean for the country's economic stability. The stakes were enormous. The outcome could affect interest rates, inflation, and the entire economy. Every decision at the Fed ripples out to businesses, families, and communities nationwide. The attempt to fire Dr. Cook set off a legal and political firestorm. Lawmakers, legal experts, and the public all weighed in, debating the limits of presidential power. Would the president succeed in reshaping the Fed to his liking, or would the institution's independence withstand the pressure? Or would the system's checks and balances hold, preserving the Fed's autonomy for future generations? The answer would have consequences for every American, shaping the nation's economic future for years to come. What were the allegations behind this unprecedented firing attempt? The White House accused Dr. Cook of misrepresenting her primary residence on mortgage documents for two properties, one in Michigan, one in Georgia, before she joined the Fed. The claim, she committed mortgage fraud to get better loan terms. These accusations had nothing to do with her work as a Fed governor. They dated back to 2021, before her appointment in 2022. Dr. Cook and her legal team denied the claims, calling them unsubstantiated and politically motivated. Her lawyer, Abby Lowell, insisted she would continue her duties with integrity. The White House argued the allegations justified her removal, but the timing and nature of the claims became central to the legal battle. Was this about genuine misconduct or an attempt to control the Fed? The courts would soon decide. Dr. Cook didn't back down. She took her fight to court, determined to defend her reputation and her position. She sued, arguing the president had no legal right to fire her, and that her removal would set a dangerous precedent for the Federal Reserve's independence. The case landed before Judge Jia Cobb in Washington, D.C., a judge known for her careful approach to high-profile cases. Dr. Cook's legal team quickly requested a preliminary injunction to block her removal while the case played out, hoping to keep her in her role during the lengthy legal process. On September 9, 2025, Judge Cobb ruled in Dr. Cook's favor, issuing a decision that would reverberate through Washington. The injunction kept her on the board, halting the president's move and allowing her to continue her work uninterrupted. Judge Cobb's decision was clear. The law only allows a Fed governor to be removed for cause, and the allegations against Dr. Cook didn't meet that strict standard. The judge emphasized that for cause must relate to a governor's conduct in office, not actions before their appointment, reinforcing the importance of fairness and due process. She also found Dr. Cook hadn't been given due process, no hearing, no chance to respond before being fired, which violated basic legal protections. The ruling was a major blow to the White House and a strong defense of the Fed's independence, sending shockwaves through the administration. Dr. Cook could keep doing her job while the lawsuit continued, her authority and responsibilities fully restored for the time being. The case set a powerful precedent. Removing a Fed governor isn't easy and must follow strict legal standards, protecting the institution from political interference. The president's attempt to fire Dr. Cook had hit a legal wall, highlighting the limits of executive power. The fight, however, was far from over. Both sides prepared for a lengthy legal battle, knowing the stakes were high. The ruling sent a message. The rules protecting the Fed matter, and the courts would enforce them. The courts would have the final say, and the outcome could reshape the balance of power between the White House and the Federal Reserve. The nation watched as the legal battle continued, aware that its outcome could impact the future of American economic policy. Let's break down the law at the heart of this case. The Federal Reserve Act says a governor can only be removed for cause, a high bar. Unlike cabinet secretaries who serve at the president's pleasure, Fed governors are protected from political firings. For cause means serious misconduct or failure in their official duties, not unrelated actions from years before. This protection ensures governors can make tough decisions based on data, not political pressure. Judge Cobb ruled that allegations about Dr. Cook's personal finances before her appointment didn't qualify. The law is clear. Performance in office is what matters. This shield is crucial for the Fed's independence. Without it, the central bank could become a political tool. Why does Fed independence matter so much? If central bankers could be fired for political reasons, presidents might pressure them to cut rates for short-term gain, risking long-term damage. The Fed's job is to make tough calls, like raising rates to fight inflation, even when it's unpopular. An independent Fed can focus on the economy's health, not election cycles. History shows that when governments control central banks, it often leads to chaos and runaway inflation. The Fed's credibility keeps the dollar strong and markets stable. This independence gives businesses and families confidence in the future. The fight over Dr. Cook's job is really about protecting this vital shield. The stakes couldn't be higher for every American. This legal battle isn't just about Washington, it affects your wallet. Dr. Cook's vote at the next Fed meeting could influence whether interest rates are cut. If the president had replaced her with an ally, the board might have voted for deeper rate cuts. Lower rates mean cheaper mortgages, car loans, and credit cards. Good news in the short term. But aggressive cuts can fuel inflation, making everything from groceries to gas more expensive. If markets think the Fed is under political control, long-term borrowing costs could rise. That means higher mortgage rates and more expensive loans down the road. The independence of the Fed isn't just a policy debate, it shapes your daily finances. The outcome of this fight could impact your savings, your paycheck, and your future. It's a reminder that decisions in Washington ripple through every household. The Fed's credibility is on the line. So is your financial security. That's why this story matters. Judge Cobb's ruling was just the beginning. The White House plans to appeal and the case could reach the Supreme Court. For now, Dr. Cook remains on the board, voting on key economic decisions. But the legal battle casts a shadow over the Fed's work. Meanwhile, President Trump is moving to fill other seats, aiming for a majority aligned with his views. The Senate confirmation of Stephen Miran, his latest nominee, will be another political flashpoint. The outcome of this case will set a precedent for presidential power over the Fed. If the courts side with Dr. Cook, the Fed's independence is reaffirmed. If not, future presidents could have far more control over monetary policy. The stakes are enormous, for the economy, for the law, and for the balance of power in Washington. The world is watching. The final decision will shape the Fed and your finances for years to come. Stay tuned. This fight is about more than Dr. Cook or interest rates. It's a test of America's checks and balances, of whether independent institutions can withstand political pressure. The case highlights the tension between presidential power and the need for stable, impartial governance. Judge Cobb's ruling reinforced the rule of law. No one can be dismissed from a protected position without due process. The principle of fair hearings and legal standards is at the heart of American justice. As this story unfolds, it's a civics lesson for us all. The outcome will signal how resilient our institutions are under pressure. Dr. Cook's battle is a defining moment for the Fed and for democracy. The guardrails of our system are being tested. How we respond will shape America's future.